Alrighty, so welcome back to the Thursday night stream. I'm your host, Part39, and today I'll be streaming Starfield, because why not? I was going to do Bad to Bad Apocalypse, but let's try and save that for tomorrow. I got a lot to talk about, and I need something quick and dirty again. So, yeah. I'm trying to think, where do I start right now? As I said, I'm not playing Bad to Bad Apocalypse right now. Tomorrow I'll do that. I hope. No, probably will actually, who am I kidding? It's just that today, and yesterday, I've been trying to, at the very least, find a healthy middle ground as to when I should start streaming and how I should approach it overall. And to say the least, the answer is complicated. One moment. Alright, one moment. I got something going on in the back as well. I'm cooking something. It's mostly meant for tomorrow though, so I'll just get the ball rolling with a few things. Yeah, you know what, I'll be back real quick. Alrighty, I'm back. So, yeah. I will be continuing my venture of trying to find money so I could fuel my shipbuilding addiction. In-game, of course, because I'm not spending actual cash. Yet. Alright, jokes aside though, yeah. So, yeah, for most part, I'm pretty much just trying to get credits to build the ship of my dreams. The Comet Driver. A sharp departure from my first ship that I built when I got into this universe. Starpiercer. A Class C pile driver that's meant to fucking punch a hole in anything that looks at it funny. With the Comet Driver, it's meant to be a bit more humbler, more of a wanderer type. The only problem is it lacks firepower, and along with that, the shields are kind of shit too, so, to say the least. We're picking up where I last left off. Well, actually, yeah, no, it was on stream, so we're picking up where I left off on stream. Right now I'm dressed up like some sort of, like, vagrant. Alrighty. So, what to talk about right now, because there's a lot to talk about to a relative extent. Let's start off with something humble, relatively speaking. Everybody knows Obsidian Games, right? They made the Fallout New Vegas game that everyone oh so loves to clamor on about, and that I hold modest contempt for because everyone loves to clamor on about Fallout New Vegas. Oh yes, of course. What made Fallout was Obsidian. God forbid, you know, it was the actual third entry of the game where everybody got hot off playing Oblivion to play. No. God forbid. Ugh, tourists. Anyway. That beside, Obsidian has recently released in advanced access, because I refuse to say early access because it gets confused with games that are in early development and can be accessed by developers like indie developers and to a minor extent AAA developers, like for example Baldur's Gate with Larian Studios, and currently Ubisoft with that one Prince of Persia game, although I don't know if it's gonna last any longer. But that beside, currently it's in advanced access, and people have probably forked out a pretty lump sum amount of cash to, play it. And to say the least, the reception is in. Give me a sec. Alright, yeah, as I was saying, the reception is in for Avowed, the most recent Obsidian game. It is... it's... Some accounts have ranged from it being mediocre to okay to pretty bad. And if I were to be blunt about it, because I have made my thoughts very known about Obsidian games outside of Fallout New Vegas, I feel like after a certain point, they just completely lost it to some extent or another. That's what I'm gonna say, at the very least. They lost it in the sense that I don't know if they have the same talent or team that has been around since the early games. I would probably boldly say, at the very least, their last good game was Pillars of Eternity 2, which, I personally did not like that much for a variety of reasons. Mostly because compared to Pillars of Eternity 1, it was kind of sort of on the meandering side a little bit. And so as a result, it kind of sort of falls on the wayside compared to that. I still liked it overall. It was a very good game, I'd say, and it was very much enjoyable. However, compared to the first game, which was probably best described as like pure concentrated love for CRPG genre, Pillars of Eternity 2 kind of feels like the inverse of Baldur's Gate 2. But yeah, it's kind of sort of like the inverse of Baldur's Gate 2, I'd say. Where Baldur's Gate 2 innovated on Baldur's Gate 1 by having, a lot of, let's say, improvements to characterizations, dialogue, romance options, quest line, as well as even, player freedom and the like to some extent or another. Pillars of Eternity 2 feels like a big fat railroad by comparison to that. And even by comparison to Pillars of Eternity 1, so to say the least, yeah. But I'm getting ahead of myself right now. I digress on that front. The one thing I would say that really tipped off that Obsidian is kind of on the side right now is their game before Avowed, in which I'm trying to remember specifically. It wasn't that other game that was historical fiction that was based off like some event in history. And let me look that up real quick, because I know for a fact I did not play it on my Obsidian marathon. Yeah, I know for a fact I didn't play it during the Obsidian marathon. It was some other stuff. Let me see here. Where is it? God damn it, it's not coming up. Let me look it up. Cheese Derp says, first off, welcome Cheese Derp, and he says, hey, what's up, man? Nothing much. Right now I have bacon cooking in the back, and I'm gonna eat it soon. In like 5 minutes. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it after this. Let's see, their last game was Penitent. Yes, so their last game was Penitent, in which I'm sure Penitent was a good game. Or Peniment, yeah, how you say it. I'm sure Peniment was a good game, I won't doubt that, it's just not my wheelhouse and of like RPGs or, any of the other games they've made. I'm still waiting for Alpha Protocol 2 Obsidian.
If you want help, I'm here.
just... Alright, let me deposit something real quick, because I know that I'm gonna be packing like a crap load of stuff. Anything I got on hand? Hazmat suit. Oh boy. Jesus, Jesus, what the hell was am I carrying right now? Oh, backpacks, okay. Anyway, back on topic to what I was talking about. So yeah, no, their last game before Pentiment, as well as that one game that was pretty much Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Obsidian games I'm referring to right now, I played the Outer Worlds, and to say the least, I hold great contempt for the Outer Worlds. Alright, contempt is a strong word. I hold great disdain for the Outer Worlds because of just how meh it is, if I'm being honest. It's a very meh game. Story was kinda on the weak side. The characters were not really that interesting, I'd argue, to some extent or another. The only thing I could make fun of was Parvati's name being close to perverty. You had Vicar Max, who was effectively a guy that hated French people. Then you had Ellie, the, for lack of a better word, the, insert generic one-liner here person. And then you had Nyoka, who was also insert generic one-liner here. And then you had that other guy that you could pick up in the Groundbreaker, who apparently assaulted someone because he disagreed with the fact that that his team was worse than the other team. And then you had the combat being kind of sort of on the mediocre side. Then you also had the RPG element being not that great in the base game. Ironically enough, the DLC was probably the better one. But yeah, the DLC was probably the better one. I will concede to that. And yeah, no, for the most part, it was just by comparison to their RPG lineup, and not even Fallout New Vegas specifically, it was on the weak side. And so yeah, to say the least, as I said, I do not like the Outer Worlds for those reasons. I'm sure someone else likes it, but compared to other RPGs I've played both by Obsidian and by other game developers at that time, it was really weak. So what's this got to do with Avowed? Well, to say the least, alright, let me just cut that off right there. So, to make a long story short, because odds are I'm gonna extrapolate it with a lot of tangents, Avowed is not in a good place. Yeah, no, Avowed is not really that good. It's not even because, well, there's a variety of factors if I'm being honest. From my understanding, at the very least, from putting two and two together, beside the fact that it takes after the Outer Worlds in the worst way possible, which takes after, you know, every element of Obsidian Games' worst element. I've noticed your most common phrase is, let's see here. And to some extent, oh god, I really gotta work on my word portfolio. God. Yeah, I gotta work on my word portfolio, and I also gotta work on my confidence on using other words. Anyway, so yeah, back on topic because I'm divulging, or diverting into a lot of tangents. So yeah, Avowed is just not exactly great. The best it can be is decent. The absolute average it could be is painfully average. And the absolute worst it could be is just extraordinarily watered down RPG. Is the way I could describe for what was told in a lot of reviews, as well as a lot of footage I actually saw. I was cautiously optimistic, if I'm going to be honest, about Avowed, but after playing the Outer Worlds, I just, at the very least, had a strong instinctual feeling that it was pretty much just going to be the same thing, except set in a world of Pillars of Eternity. A a franchise and series that revolve around and heavily base itself in CRPG logic. You try and translate that over to, you know, an action-oriented game, it's not gonna pan out as well for one reason or another. The one reason being, this is something I actually saw on a handful of footage. The dialogue options from the game pretty much shared similarities to that of the CRPG versions of the game. So pretty much it's using, you know, how Pillars of Eternity 2, it describes your character's actions before, you know, then speaking them. It's pretty much something like, you know, square up, look directly at Pearson, let's say, and say, square up, look directly at Pearson before saying, you owe obligations to us, man. You have, to my knowledge, and in my unprofessional opinion, that sounds about right. Yes, that sounds about right for me. In my most unprofessional opinion, yes, that sounds actually a lot better. There we go. But yeah, you pretty much have like the old CRPG, you know, dialogue, which in a CRPG is fine because you have to like use like a combination of theater of the mind and, you know, whatever the tabletop is effectively, in which, you know, it's the actual game. But in an action-oriented setting, it's kind of sort of awkward, to say the least. When you just have what is effectively the equivalent of like a 4chan, you know, shitpost anime. I'm a professional unprofessional. I'm licensed and not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. Sounds about right still. Alright, but yeah, no. From what I've seen of Avowed, as well as from like various other footages, the dialogue is very awkward. Not just the spoken dialogue, but also the written dialogue as well. Because as I was about to say at the very least, it reads like, you know, anime shitpost. What the fuck? One moment. But yeah, it reads like anime shitpost, because it's like one of the things that stuck out to me was like, smile dangerously. It's just like, what the fuck does that even mean? Smile dangerously. What, you mean they smile like a feral asshole? Like a wolf or something like that? I have an inner wolf. I have an inner wolf, and it's yearning to come out. Alright, I'm being hyperbolic. I'm being hyperbolic on that front, but, you know, it could easily, you know, read as almost kind of like that to that degree, I'd say. Again, in the CRPG, it's written a lot more differently, as well as given the fact that the developers at that point were probably a lot more, you know, of the mind of having equal part humor and, you know, serious tone. It could be changed to a cruel grin spreads across Name's face. I mean, well, maybe. The thing is that with Pillar of Eternity dialogue, it's always written in the first person perspective. And so things like, you know, smile dangerously is just, it just feels like the inner thoughts of my character are, again, like a 4chan, you know, anime shitpost where it's like, you know, nothing personal, kid. Pew! Just instant transmission behind them or some shit like that. That's the best way I could put it. It's just, it comes off as like an elaborate shitpost. Actually, the best way I could describe it to further, you know, draw emphasis, for lack of a better word, on that. It's kind of the same way, and this is gonna be of my... Yeah, this is gonna be the same... This is gonna bring me some great personal shame to concede to this, but this the dialogue like that kind of reminds me of my time when I first played D&D, and when I tried to, like, roll intimidation and I used a growl... Oh, God, oh, just saying it out loud is killing me already. Oh, God, that is my worst moment. Anyway, it reminds me of something like that, where you're trying to, like, pull off something intimidating. In your mind, it's cool, but in the actual... When you say it out loud, it's the most dipshit, dumb thing you've ever heard of. The best way to make... And for the record, the best way to make, you know, a growl or a yell or battle cry work... One moment. Alright, I'm back. What was he talking about? Oh yes, Avowed's dialogue and my D&D experience. We'll talk about my worst moment in which I used intimidation to growl. So yes, as I was saying, if you ever wanted to use like a battle cry or a growl for an intimidation check and you want to like make it work effectively, you better roll up a tiefling or have access to a cleric's spell list, because you're going to do that with only thaumaturgy. Fuck is that? Wow, this game is so Sigma. It's Skibbity Riz W Gat. This only happens the Ohio type shit. These guns have level 10 Riz with phantom tax. Oh my fucking god, what the fuck? Jesus Christ almighty. God, just... So yeah, no, so pretty much, it kind of reminds me of that when it comes to like that dialogue, check. Smile dangerously. Yeah, smile dangerously. Yeah, you pretty much are making like a bullshit intimidation check without thaumaturgy or any way to augment and amplify your intimidation factor. You know, now that I say that out loud and point that out as well, it just occurred to me that that type of dialogue just happens in normal dialogue. It's not even, I don't think at the very least, I don't think it's like a charisma or persuasion or intimidation check or whatever the hell the equivalent of Pillar of Eternity's skill check is. It's literally just normal dialogue, so... It's just normal dialogue, so my character really is just... My character, if I were to play, you know, Avowed, is just naturally cringe. Alright, great. For the sake of posterity, I'm trying to really think of like the lowest moment of Starfield's dialogue. And if I'm being frankly honest, I don't think there's been an instance where Starfield's dialogue was really that low or bad to that extent. I mean, it's had some like stupid dialogue every now and then, in which, you know, it's mostly used to like break up and, you know, add levity and humor to the game. Like, for example, it's kind of like Fallout 4's dialogue, where it's like, I'm trying to think, unlike Fallout 4's dialogue where, you know, it's just like sarcastic, kind of a rude remark, being nice, and just, you know, stowing it for later. Starfield's dialogue is probably a little bit more balanced out, where you could be, at worst, cruel, to, at best, you know, measured, as well as, you know, like a saint, effectively. That's the best way I can put it for Starfield's whole thing. At least in comparison to, like, you know, Avowed. Alright, fine, be that way, robot. Kowald, or whatever his name is the best character in dialogue. Oh, man. Alright, but yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so aside from Avowed being in kind of sort of a sore spot for a variety of reasons between his development, the development team being literal just outlashing to their, you know, yeah, pretty much outlashing out to their own community and the like, and along with that, the game just not being that great because it takes after like the worst elements of every other RPG that exists in the entire gaming zeitgeist. That's really the best way I can describe so far. And you know what? People are looking and comparing it to a minor extent, not a majority number, a minor extent in numbers. People are comparing it to Kingdom Come Deliverance, in which, yeah, that's fair. Two of them are high-profile games, so, you know, one is supposed to come from like a RPG, you know, maestro, and the other one's just, you know, a bunch of guys from the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic wins! Coswald, that robot butler thing. You mean Codsworth from... Are you talking about Codsworth from Fallout 4? The robot butler? Because if so, yeah, that sounds about right. Best character, best dialogue to varying degrees. Alright, but yeah. Alright, but yeah, no, as I was saying, yeah, the Czech Republic wins compared to Obsidian. People that have supposedly made RPGs for a long while. What's that? In Avowed, you can't commit crime? Well, why the fuck not? You're an envoy, you're supposed to be on your best behavior. Yeah, so? People should fear the Adir Empire. It's like, no, you're an envoy, be on your best behavior. It's like, what the fuck is this? Starfield lets me at the very least commit the most basic of crimes. If I want to go on wanton slaughter, not that I ever wanted to in the first place, because there's no sport in that. Predator rules, there's no sport in hunting game that's, you know, that can't defend itself. God, makes me sound crazy like that. But yeah. But yeah, at the very least, you know, Starfield lets me do that. Kingdom Come, whew, lets me do the whole 5 miles. I could trespass, I could, you know, kill if I wanted to. Again, not if I ever wanted to, you know, just rules and all that. Yeah, rules and all that, you know, no sport and hunting game that can't fight back, I'd say. And I'm trying to think what else. Thievery, you can get caught, as well as along with that assault, in which Starfield actually has those too, now I'm thinking about it. It's just not as shown, and it's not really fully incentivized, I guess one could say. Mostly because it being taking place in a civilized land, whilst Kingdom Come Deliverance takes place in a time of war when the Cumans invaded. Yeah, when the Cumans invaded the pretty much invaded Bohemia, which is feudalistic Czech Republic. I'm a little disappointed though that Avowed isn't any good, if I'm being honest though. I mean, I expected, you know, a modicum of what I expected in the Outer Worlds, but I'm disappointed that I'm not proven wrong, you know? At the very least, you know, in the sense that it's a competently made game, you know? Just remember, I saw the movie Jojo Rabbit in history class. You ever seen it? Jojo Rabbit? What? You mean Roger Rabbit? Oh, let me look that up. Oh no! Oh, it's that one. The one with the Hitler Youth imagining what would Hitler do. No, I've not seen it. I've heard about it though. Yeah, no. You know, alright. Shows what I know. Anyway. No, I've not seen Jojo Rabbit. Maybe I should watch it at some point. Then again, how interesting could a Hitler Youth movie be? Neither instance, though. Might watch it. I think it's a comedy. Let me see. Yeah, it's satirical drama. Yeah. I don't know. I might watch it. I might not. It's one of those things where I'm not really gonna go out of my way to watch. To be honest, like a lot of movies nowadays. Now I'm thinking about it. Alrighty. Now, speaking of Kingdom Come Deliverance and compared to Avowed, so I'm trying to think. I've been playing more Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's pretty great, if I'm being honest. A lot of it is a step up from the first game, in which, I'm not gonna lie, the first game, not my most favorite thing in the world. I enjoyed it well enough, and, you know, I found it to be very interesting and engaging at times, but there were a lot of things that just kinda annoyed me. Most importantly was, like, combat being borderline, I wouldn't say unplayable, but it's clearly suited for one-on-one combat. The way that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 kind of sort of circumvented this was pretty much the idea of like martial artists, you know, or you know, like those fight scenes where like one guy fights one guy and then another guy jumps in before then, you know, trying to take over, and then devolves into like a one-on-one fight again. Yeah, it's kind of like that, in which, you know, some would probably not like that approach. But yeah, you know, some people might not like that approach particularly, but if I'm being honest, I honestly would prefer that if it meant that the gameplay was a lot more. But yeah, I would prefer, you know, to play something like that if it meant, you know, I could actually get into the combat more effectively. Because as realistic as, you know, a full-blown brawl is, it's also not that fun to play when you don't have, like, any semblance of control, and when, you know, you're in the middle of a fight and you're trying to pull off a technique midway through. So, say for example, I'm trying to, like, go for left, right, top, or something like that, right? I'm trying to pull that off, and then some guy intercepts me, and like, it's not fun trying to, you know, it's not fun trying to, you know, counter and think of like every single thing in the battlefield at once. Kingdom Come doesn't like fully, at the very least, to my knowledge, at the very least, it doesn't like fully do away with people joining the fight. I think it's only when you like have them out of your line of sight, or when they're like, or when your back is like directly turned at them, that they really attack. If you see them, they're gonna back off until like they could get like a good angle on you and flank you. That's the best way to describe it. Whilst in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, it was just pretty much the equivalent of like, it's the equivalent of like jumping in and just like jumping a guy. They had the numbers and they had like sheer numbers to just overwhelm you. realistic, sure, but in terms of gameplay, not fun still. If anything, now that I'm saying that out loud, it's probably the equivalent of... What the hell's that? It's probably the equivalent of... Oh, it's Starborn. Let's see here. But yeah, it's probably the equivalent of like... Ah, shit, I lost my train of thought. God damn it, because I was trying to look at the planet. Give me a sec to orient and recalibrate my thought process, so to speak. Alright. But yeah, no, pretty much it's the equivalent of like... You're pretty much better off in the first game just armoring up and turtling up and just dealing with it. Which, to be fair, is the best way to really handle anything in medieval Bohemia. But yeah, no. It made early game progression like really hard. Borderline impossible, I'd say, to at the very least. Yeah, it's like borderline impossible early game to like get anything done. Compared to, again, in the second game where, because everything is like more choreographed, so to speak, where again you face off one-on-one combat, and if you get your back open, you get jumped. But in instances like that, it makes the game much more easy. Or more easy in the sense that you could, again, just better orient yourself and better, you know, grasp the gameplay. Alright, excellent. I'm not sure how to feel about this UI mod I got for my ship. I'll try spinning, that's a good trick. Oh, that's beautiful though. Got my own automated battalion and everything. This is the power of having a full ship. Yeah, this is pretty much the equivalent of me doing the same thing in going through the same thing in Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's just like, as soon as you like run out of the sheer numbers, it's pretty much just everyone jumping on one guy. It's funny. Well, funny in a more roundabout way. I'm trying to think, at the very least, what... Yeah, I'm really trying to think specifics at the very least at this point as to what to talk about. Because I do want to talk more about the way Obsidian Games has been lately, but I haven't really kept up with them outside of, like, keeping track of what Avow is like currently. And that's really about it. So far, to a minor extent at the very least, I've seen people kind of sort of rebound back to being, you know, playing Starfield to some extent. You know, now that time has passed a bit and, you know, all the, oh, who am I kidding? They're still gonna be there. All the people with, that are like, for lack of a better word, tourists at the very least. all the people like dropping by, and you know, it's like they heard about it and they don't like it. Like the equivalent of going to Japan and not liking the culture because, you know, it's different from yours or something like that, right? Wait, what? Okay, Yap Fuel. Where do you think humanity's headed? Alright. Alright, let me finish up my thing and I'll tackle that one head on. You know what? Fuck it, I'll tackle that one instead before I tackle that one, seeing as you brought it up. Where is humanity headed? It's hard to say if I'm being honest. I'm not gonna be a downer about it and say, oh, we're headed to the shitter, guys, you know? It's all game over from here, you know? We lost, you know? Humanity did not deserve to evolve from the fishes we came from. We should have stayed to dust, and we should have stayed in dust, and that's it. We should have been all dead. Alright. Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, spout off some, you know, what is effectively nihilistic diatribe. I will say, at the very least, it's looking pretty bleak to some extent. On one hand, you know, it's kinda sorta healing a little bit. However, it's hard to really see the more, you know... Yeah, it's kinda hard to see the more optimistic side of things with the way that, you know, people are kinda sorta at each other's throats. I'm not gonna name any specific conflicts, but, you know, there is conflict, you know, happening around the world and the like. Even here in good old US of A, there's still some, you know, there's still some conflict in itself. If not physical, then usually verbal and the like. A matter of bureaucracy, one could say, in fact. But yeah, no, I'd say it's getting slightly better, but it's hard to really say specifically how well it's going to turn out. If I were to try and guess, maybe like, let's say I'm like 50 years old or something like that, I'd probably say it's gonna be, if it continues to be the way it is now, it's probably gonna be very stagnant to some extent, is what I'd say. Compared to previous generations before us, there really hasn't been any major headway. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been technological advancements and all that, with, you know, like smartphones, you know, silicon, microchips and all that jazz, you know, all sorts of technological and, you know, fundamental advancements on that front. But in terms of, I guess in terms of societal nuance and the like, and, you know, people trying to get along from there, it is, for lack of a better word, we're still, for lack of a better word, I guess I could say, we're kind of sort of still feeling the effects of the Cold War. Though the Cold War ended in the 90s, though it ended in the 90s, it's only been 30-odd years since the end of the Cold War. And the world is kind of sort of still in a dire strait to some extent. If not in actual conflict, then more specifically in, you know, bureaucratic, governmental institutions and the like, I guess. That's the best way I can describe it. I mean, compared to, say, I don't know, 20s, 50s, hell, even the 60s and such, it wasn't really totally bad. I mean, there were worse elements during those times. Crime and the like was on the rise with Al Capone and such. Communist revolution, uprising as well as, you know, with Germany having the death of Archduke Ferdinand. Still, though, I can't imagine it was in totality terrible. Actually, you know, maybe using the 40s to 50s is probably a bad example, given the fact that a lot of things were hot off the trail of World War II. So, I don't know. A lot of it has to do with, like, a lot of post-Great War blues of sorts, I'd say. And a lot of things that came after the Great Wars, in which, again, World War II and, you know, the Cold War itself. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to really give an accurate estimation as to where it stands. Again, technological and fundamentals, we're evolving, but societal and other stuff like that, it's ironically enough regressing compared to, I don't know, the 1800s to some extent or another. Again, though, I'm not a big historical buff, so if anyone can, correct me on that, they're more than welcome to, and, I will concede to that notion. It's not my wheelhouse. Still, though, if you want a more definitive answer, I'd say that humanity's headed to at the very least in the near future, like let's say when I'm, again, like 50-odd years old. Yeah, when I'm like 50-odd years old, and if it continues the way it is, it's going through a terminal stagnative slump to some extent. Yeah, to some extent in terms of society. Technology, we're on the rise, and in terms of, understanding more fundamentals, we're also on the rise. But when it comes to, let's say, economics and societal norms, it's kind of sort of hard to really say we're in a right place. With hustle culture and, people wanting independence and the like, in which, not wanting independence is not a bad thing. At some point, one must leave the coop and all that. But this idea of, like, severing ties and, becoming fully self-reliant, isolated from everyone else, it's a poison, I'd say, is what I'll say on that. And so humanity needs to reconnect in order for it to, I guess, truly heal and progress. To move on from, at this point, was something that happened 30 years ago. I hope that makes sense at the very least. I'm not that old, but this is just going off of my very, very unprofessional, broad, not exactly precise knowledge of history and where we're headed. On a more optimistic note, I do think we're at the very least somewhat getting together, but not in the way, or not in the expediency that I guess more hopeful and optimistic people are hoping for. It's still kind of sort of going through that slow, meandering phase a little bit. And it's going to be a long way before we get to what it was like maybe a century ago. Hell, a century and a half ago at least. Where at the very least there was like more people united under certain things than, as it is now, where it's more divided and more wanting to set on your own. Alright, let's move on from that. What to talk about? Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, so when it comes to Starfield, it's kind of sort of moving in a direction now that people are kind of sort of now appreciating it. Or at the very least, people are now at the very least making their appreciation known. We're moving on from what is effectively best described as the Fallout 76 portion of a Bethesda game, in which it's not so much in Starfield's case a shitty launch, but just the fact that people are looking to dig at some things that are valid, but to another extent made more hyperbolic and more worse than it really is. So that's really the best way I could describe it, at least. I've seen like 2 videos that have made their appreciation for Starfield known, and a few more before that, as well as even an analysis and, comprehensive examinations of the strengths and weaknesses of Starfield. But this, yeah, it's great to see that, at the very least. More tempered stuff after effectively trying to ignore what is effectively same voices spoken in a cacophony. It's kind of like that one guy in what was it? It was like that one guy in Tyranny, the voices of Narat. It's kind of sort of like trying to, you know, dull him out a bit. A variety of voices saying the same thing, but at the same time saying nothing, I'd say. So yeah, that's pretty good, I'd say. I'm hoping with this more optimistic phase right now that there's going to be more positive things to come from Starfield. Not just the game itself, in the sense that, you know, more quality content would be nice. But along with that, you know, more support from the wider Bethesda community, given the fact that a lot of the people that are a fan of Bethesda games, they're still stuck in the old ways of Bethesda. And when I say that, I'm mostly referring to like Fallout 4's community as well as Skyrim's community as well. But yeah, Fallout 4's community as well as like Skyrim's community as well, with the way that... Let me see here. Yeah, with the way that people hold those two games in high regard. I hope that Starfield has that chance at the very least. You know, it's probably going to be very likely the case. I could say that confidently, knowing that compared to like a lot of other games that came out in even worse state than Starfield, like Cyberpunk 2077 was a technological mess. Conceptually, as well as like a variety of like narrative choices, it was great, right? Everyone loved that. But when it came to like the actual technology and it trying to run like anything, it's pretty much the equivalent of like, can it run Crysis? But yeah, it's the equivalent of like, can it run Crysis and the like, and so over time, it'll actually probably get better. Hell, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was kind of sort of the same way. With the way that Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 was, a lot of people just wrote Kingdom Come Deliverance off as like just this like you know, blase whatever game and the like. Between the problems with the combat, between the problems of it being slow as shit, you know, it's kind of sort of just came off that way from the outset. Alrighty. You know, I want to talk about Avowed again. More particularly, at the very least, the reception around Avowed. It's funny to think that people that were touting it off to be this great game kind of sort of like backpedaling a little bit. It's funny how that works a little bit. I'm even seeing some familiar names like hanging around and the like, and you know, throwing their pot in the pan, or you know, their hat in the fire and the like, you know? I'm looking at you, Lucas. Don't think I don't see you. Anyway. Lukey boy, besides, yeah, no, it's just... Oh man, it's just kind of funny how to see all this happen again and again and again and again. Except, unfortunately, I'm not actually directly participating in it, because I'm trying to avoid, you know, directly correlating into it a little bit, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to move on from my post-2020 woes. Boy. Can't wait to see how the Obsidian boys spin this, though. Speaking of Obsidian boys, I shouldn't say I've been thinking about it. I really haven't been thinking about it that much. But I have been interested to see where Fallout's modding community has been lately. You always hear about, like, modding communities for Fallout, or for me in my wheelhouse. I've been hearing a lot about, like, the way that Fallout's, community is, and the amount of ambitious mods they have. Like, for example, the ability to, play... Give me a sec. Give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec. Alright, as I was saying. So yeah, no, you always hear like mods like, oh, we're gonna remake the entire Fallout game in Fallout New Vegas. Or we're gonna make the entire Fallout 1 game in Fallout 4. Or, we're gonna make a whole expansion. We're gonna make a whole Fallout expansion based on Van Buren, and we're gonna do it on Fallout New Vegas and the like. It's just like, you hear about them, but then after a while, it's just like, oh yeah, where is it standing currently? Oh, what's that? It's dead? Oh, well, that's a surprise. But yeah, no, it's just... It's kind of sort of both fucked up and hilarious just to see how a lot of these mods, by comparison to, like, Elder Scrolls mods, are standing to the test of time a bit, Elder Scrolls fans, Jesus Christ, Elder Scrolls fans are like cracked out on the Elder Scrolls lore. They love these games so much that they're willing to remake an entire game in Providence in a quote-unquote more modern engine. That being, Skyrim's engine, effectively. Shit, there was like one guy as well that was remaking another game in Skyrim as well. What was it? I think it was like, it was Vampire, the not Vampire the Masquerade, not Vampire the Masquerade, but like one of the, I think it was like Vampire Bloodlines or something like that, taking place in the same world of darkness that, is Vampire the Masquerade. Alright, but yeah. Alright, but yeah, pretty much that's... It's funny how that works, Fallout's got like all these... It's pretty much the best way to describe it. Fallout's like all talk, but there's like no substance to its community to some extent. And, of course, I'm kind of sort of being hyperbolic in this respect because, I'm part of the Fallout community myself. But they always, like, talk big of, like, how these older games were better and, how their idea is better, too. But in actuality, it's no better than anyone else's idea. And maybe even worse than Bethesda's ideas. Give me a sec to... Give me a sec to... But yeah, it's funny to see how it's like the community is just like kind of like all this like big talk, and yet the only thing that managed to come out of the Fallout community in terms of like a widespread, you know, expansion, so to speak, was Fallout: The Frontier, a game with a variety and litany of issues that range from the staff being just completely out of their goddamn mind, having like certain staff on board, but then you also have like other staff having more power over other staff, and then you have other developers just like not wanting other developers to like fuck around and, you know, help out with their thing and the like, writing being inconsistent across all three factions between NCR, Caesar's Legion, and Brotherhood of Steel. Or no, I'm sorry, the Mormonhood of Steel. I think that's what it is. Then you got Fallout London, a game that's a Fallout mod that's just Fallout in London. That's it. That's all I could say, if I'm being honest. There's not much to it other than that. I'm trying to think what else. Then you have other Fallout New Vegas stuff. Like, for example, you had Fallout Project Brazil turned... What was it? I think it was like some other... It got turned into like something else altogether in terms of naming. But I'm just going to call it Project Brazil because that's what I knew it as. You had Project Brazil that was like, at first, just like a whole new game, so to speak, in Fallout, before it then evolved into like being this weird fan fiction of like how your character, the courier, how your character, the one you play in the mod, is connected to the courier because they are the courier, and then they were connected to being the fucking descendant of the Vault Dweller and some shit. It's just... You hear me fucking spouting this shit off, right? And you're hearing how insane some of the stuff the Fallout community came up with is, right? And I'm not saying like crazy in the way that it's like, oh, you know, it's, you know, different. No, I'm talking about like, you're talking about Bethesda, you know, doing worse compared to what, you know, Black Isle put out, and then you're putting out what is effectively the same drivel but different because it's you doing it instead. That's the best way I could describe it. Now granted, when it comes to like, you know, Skyrim, Oblivion, and Morrowind, it has its own, you know, contenders and the like, right? For example, you got like, I'm trying to remember distinctly enough, for Skyrim specifically, I remember that there was like, I know for a fact, there's like this expansion-sized mod that came out, and it was to add like a new world space into Skyrim, in which, at the time it came out, it was unheard of. It was unprecedented for anyone to do that. But looking at it now and the way it's aged like hell. In which, yeah, it was impressive for the time and the feat that it did, but to another extent, mechanically and gameplay-wise, it's kind of shit. And so that's really the best way I could describe it. It's kind of sort of like, what was that one fucking expansion mod called? Hold on, let me look that up real quick. What was the first DLC mod called? Let me look this up. Because I know for a fact that people praised it to Kingdom. It's Falscar! There we go. Came out in 2013. Unprecedented at the time. Now it's aged like absolute hell. If you want to know what I'm talking about specifically, at the very least when it came to Falscar, for most part, as I mentioned, technically speaking, it is the most impressive thing ever done with the creation engine. This is before a lot of documentation as well as a lot of advancements in, you know, Skyrim modding happened. But yeah, this was before, you know, a lot of advancements in Skyrim's modding community happened. And so, to say the least, the reason why it's aged like hell, for the most part, is mostly due to the fact that the actual the actual content of the game is just kind of it's kind of shit, if I'm being honest. The writing is not that good. Some of the stuff it tries to pull off is interesting, but also extraordinarily clunky and unintuitive. I'm trying to remember, like, specifically what it was that was clunky and unintuitive. I think it was because... specifically thinking about it right now, it was because I think it tried to, like, have the player plays a different character midway through. So, you know how in Skyrim you have, I'm trying to think. It was, I think it was Vilcus, right? Yeah, like, Vilcus, like, on the other side because you're trapped behind a gate, and then you watch him... like, tear ass. Well, imagine that, but then all of a sudden you're playing your character, then going from your character to Vilcus. And it's pretty much something along those lines. And it caused, like, a lot of issues, and there was, like, a lot of bugs as well. And just as well, when it comes to, like...
This place is messed up. What kind of two-bit security they have running this place anyway?
And so, along with, you know, all those things I just mentioned, there's also the fact that the world space was just not that interesting as well. But yeah, the world space itself was just not that interesting, and it was just kind of sort of on the, meh side. Alright, this is good, I think. Let me see. Sorry, right now I gotta fucking lock in right now, you know? Alright, 2 new engines. You got anyone I could sell shit to?
I dislike him intensely.
Listen, friend, I don't need to be rude, but I'm trying to relax and you people won't give me a moment. I tell you what, if you want a conversation with me, get a coffee.
Sure, why not? I'll be back.
Off you go then.
If you're looking to register, you'll need to speak to Miss Vine.
I ain't bothering you, so keep to yourself.
there any merchants here I could sell to? Because I got like a lot of garbage in my back pocket. Is there like a trade authority or something?
Go ahead, start some trouble. Gives me an excuse to air you out.
Oh, would you look at that? Classy.
I'm on duty, so get the hell out of my face.
I saw your last run. You got some serious skin.
All are welcome at the Red Mile. We don't ask too many questions.
Sure, why not?
But the Red Mile is not for the weekend.
That's fine. You'll take care of me if I get hurt, right?
Does it look like we have an infirmary here? No, I do. You are on your own if you are unlucky to survive insurance. In that case, I hope you brought a friend with you to take you to the nearest reliable facility. Or you can try to convince Lon to put you back together. But he's a much better mechanic than he is a doctor.
Yeah, whatever.
Good. And are you able to?
The voice is telling me I should probably not do this right now.
I do not know if you're joking. But if that is your answer, whether you're here, of course.
Yeah, I'm free.
Very well then. Step aside and will it? Then you're on your own. I wish you good fortune out there.
It's a pleasure to have you. Things people will do to try and make money.
My day is sunny.
Of course, take your time.
Alrighty. Time to run the Red Mile and get myself to be famous. What am I afflicted in? I got lung damage. I gotta cure my lung damage, man. If I'm gonna step out there, may as well look my best. God, my best is just literally me looking like a hobo at this rate. A space hobo. Yeah, that'll be a laugh. Why not? This space vagrant is going out to do some stuff, guys. Let's point and laugh at him. Why not? I could use a friend on my shoulder.
Valued patrons and honored guests, your attention please. I have an exciting announcement. This brave contestant has come to run the infamous Red Mile for your entertainment and gambling pleasure. Will we see the champion succeed once again, or finally perish to the challenges ahead? Wager wisely. You have until our contestant reaches the starting line to finalize your race. Now, open the door and let the running of the Red Mile commence!
Right, let's do this. Woo! Run the Red Mile. Good time to take stock and inventory. Swap out for the common 45 ACP because I keep on coming across that instead. Can I ever forgive myself for what happened in the past? I don't know. But I know one thing for certain. I'll make my present count. Anyway. Here we go. Gotta love my physics just going hog wild right now. Oh, look at that, though. Could I ever make up for a lifetime of sin? I honestly don't know. I want to say yes, but I know the truth better than anyone. So right now, I'm trying to run away from my problems right now. What better way is there to explain a character's debate inside? What, someone taking pot shots at me? Man, there's one thing I gotta complain about Starfield. It's mostly just how the physics of the clothing sometimes gets. Who the fuck is shooting at me? No, it's the Maulers probably, actually. Do we got anything to stop them? You know, this might be one of those instances where I should probably, most likely, bust out what is effectively my ace in the hole. Why not? If you can stop me, you wouldn't try. Alrighty. Give me a sec. Just got this big LMG on hand right now. Big ol' fat MG. I wonder if there's gonna be an update to the Jaeger 556 to give the option of the to have like a like an endless magazine or something like that, or you know, just have the ability to like choose the mag, or choose magazine, or choose the box.
But I hope. Yes, good. Let's go.
Welcome back again, runner. I'm very impressed with your continued victory. A successful win demands my appreciation.
Oh, gee, thanks for the shotgun, lady.
Can't believe they'd rough up a guy just for wanting to take him prey.
Yeah, you can see here, the only issue that's going on with the Jaeger 556 is the fact that the belt, at least in third person, is inanimate. Which is not a problem inherently, but accounting for the fact that, you know, it's kind of sort of awkwardly hanging there and not exactly having any physics attached to it. The likely answer probably being that, you know, having physics on a gun is wildly impractical.
To your orders, Captain.
You keep installing new cool things in your ship. It's like Christmas every day.
Say your last goodbyes. Hell of a view from here.
Alrighty. I should have enough fuel to jump over to Wolf. The only reason why I got the shielded containers, if I'm being honest, is just mostly because I want just for the shits and giggles of it. Yeah. Yeah, let's make this an all-encompassing trip, so that way I don't have to go around as much. Let's go to Cheyenne.
Strong
There we go. Got the new shields. I think it's like a 75% chance. 74. Yeah. I want to boost the chances of me avoiding detection for me smuggling stuff, but you know, I'm not sure if it's going to be like 100%. That's the thing. In either instance, though. Good old Cheyenne.
I do like to get the most out of my weapons.
Dual lasers? Jesus Christ, really? Why not? Dual lasers. Let's make this a meme gun at this point. Like my character's completely lost it. Unnecessarily oversized suppressor designed for high caliber rifles and machine guns. Reduces detection and recoil. What? Oh my god, that's so stupid. I gotta get it! I gotta get it now. Deal more damage to those who deserve it. Inflict pain to those who don't. Regret. Critical mass. The void. 0 Kelvin. Decay. Yeah, why not? Let's go for critical mass. Why not? I'm just casually shooting just uranium, apparently. Alright, I think that this is fine, though. So stupid. I love it. You know, I can't deal with the 2 lasers though. I gotta cut it down if I can help it. see here. Anything else I could do? Alrighty. Alrighty, excellent.
You ask me? Sure, Laredo. Just so you know.
Alrighty, you got 5.56 cartridges I could just buy ever so casual like? You do? Oh, thank goodness for that. Wouldn't want an insane person to get their hands on it, right? Let's see here. Got 2 old earth hunting rifles. Negotiator. Ha! Jesus Christ, that suppressor is big. God.
What brings you to the welcome to Aquilas? Now you're speaking.
Got these totally legitimately acquired goods, man. I just need you to, you know, get these off my hands and, you know, give me a good interest for a finder's fee and all that. You know, we're squared away. We're good to go and all that jazz. Just, you know, slide that cash in my back pocket right there, you know. It's going to be cool. See here. There we go. We're making profit, guys. Just look at that. It's the first iteration of the Nomad spacesuit. Alrighty, excellent. Oh, just look at the time right now, actually. Still, I want to try and use this Newly modified Jaeger 556. I also want to see. Oh wow, that's pretty cool actually. Hold on. You could see on the third-person model that the tips of the tip of the Jaeger 556 is all. It's actually uranium tipped. It's actually pretty cool. Let me think here real quick, because I want to see. Let's do a little impromptu thing, because I have some credits squirreled away. But yeah, because I got some credits squirreled away right now. Who was it again? Yeah, Heroic Pie. Astra 19 sidearm. Why not? Developed by United Colonies for security personnel. Pick that up, sure, why not? Is there anything else that's worthwhile or no? I'm not sure if I want to do the quest stuff. Honestly, if I'm going to do the quest stuff, I'm going to get it in bulk. But outside of that, I may as well just get a bunch of one-offs right now. So I already got that. The VMP-31 assault rifle, which is pretty much the PPSH. Jeez. Ryujin Talon crossbow. Oh, it's an actual projectile weapon as well. Shit. Maybe another time, actually. Maybe another time. Jaeger 556. Yeah, no. Alright, real quick, because I know that this is gonna be... I need to fully reload my game if I want to get it to be installed and the like. We got like a few minutes left on stream, so this is what I'm going to do with the remainder of the time. Just pretty much take a look at this gun, see what it's like and such. Alright, stand by. Time to channel my quick Crimson Flyboy for Starfield, because see what this is about. I had this on standby anyway, so may as well use it and get it. Oh yeah, that's right. 762 by 39 existed as a cartridge on itself, so in the game. Alright, so this was developed by, I believe it was Heroic Pie. Yes, Heroic Pie, so to say the least. Pretty much one of the old guard of Fallout 4. So, alright, let's see what this is about. Is this an open bolt gun? Because that's the only reason I can imagine is... No, it's not. Alright, so... Alright, so no, I was trying to like figure out why the hell... Aside from it reusing an animation, of course, I'm just really thinking just like, why is it that that there's no like animation to like have a charging handle be used? And I'll tell you why, because the tools of the creation kit are currently limited as it stands. So this is currently the highest I could get the RO Raptor, at least. Probably am missing like a few others, but as far as I could tell you, that's the highest as I ever gotten it. Alright, let's see.
I'm afraid, due to recent legislative action, I'm no longer able to allocate ships. Welcome to UC Distribution. Yes.
Let's see here. Advanced Enforcer.
You're always welcome back. If you don't...
The Astra Sidearm. Where the hell would I even find this thing?
Mind a bit of a wait.
Let's try the well. Or actually, hold on, before I try the well, because I don't want to go down there anytime soon. Because I know it's going to be a hell of a trek.
You're in the Vanguard, right? Hey, thanks for your service.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words and the like, but yeah, no, I am part of the Vanguard though, so... I do kind of wish that there was like more like pseudo like hybridization of like these weapons and the like, as like grounded in reality, but they got mangled by technology or something like that. I mean, that'd be pretty interesting to see if I'm being honest. But no, we gotta make everything realistic, man. Why is there space magic in my space game where apparently humanity has somehow found a way to travel in the speed of faster than the speed of light? What is this bullshit, man?
I'm sure you are. Please, take a look.
Griffin, you got the gun I'm looking for? Hey, there we go. Overcharged Astra 19. Is there any other? No? Okay. Alright, no, I could work with it though. I'll take that Astra 19 sidearm. Ooh, this thing's beautiful though. Hold on. Hold on. Let's take a look at this. This is a beautiful piece though, yeah. Look at that. UC engraving. Safety feature right then and there. It's mostly just a stamp. That's it. Laser module. I assume right there is the slide release. This is a nice gun. But how does it perform? Let's see. Is there any modifications I can make to it? It's got a hair trigger attached to it. 3 skins. I'm gonna go with the dark skin because it's got a compensator attached to it. However, I could slap on a suppressor if I wanted to. But I'm gonna keep that. Block red dots, mini. Ooh, now these are nice attachments. I imagine the grip would be textured to make it more efficient. Ah, and it's already got my preferred. It's already got my preferred weapon. It's already got my preferred type already. Armor piercing. Just change it to high power because fucking rate of fire means shit all in this game. There we go. Yeah. Got ourselves a beautiful piece of work. Now all I gotta do is live fire it real quick.
I cannot, will not be a part of this.
Alright. Jokes aside. Alright, jokes aside though. Gotta double check my tuning though. Is this the highest capacity to get it myself on a pistol? In which 9 magazines, 15 or 9 bullets, 15 shots. Alright, for 45 ACP, not bad I'd say. Not bad. Hmm. "50 shots, EM, ignition." Alright, let's go with that. Alright, so unfortunately this is as high as it gets with anything else. So the incendiary round, it's either incendiary rounds or go with a large magazine, in which it's kind of redundant to go with that. Scamp Comp Muzzle Brake, huh? Why not? It boosts damage for some reason. Rate of fire is worthless, so I'm not gonna bother with it. Yeah. Alright though.
There's something to me. Please, take a look.
Alright, we do need actual live fire capability. So let me stock up on munitions, and then after that we're gonna head on out. Do a live fire exercise, and then I'm gonna wrap up from there. Alright, let's go to the ass end of the galaxy and see if we could find some trouble somewhere. Abandoned fuel station, you say? Let's go there. Alright. Let's begin the live fire exercise, shall we? Touchdown is indeed imminent. It's been a while since I last used the RO-18. Let's try the RO-18 out, because it seems I got it out already. What trouble is there to be had here? Pirate legends. Excellent.
We should check the tanks, see if any helium-3 is available. No sense letting it go to waste.
Well, on the upside, it definitely has a great deal of capacity, but the problem now I'm seeing is the fact that it doesn't have good ammo dumping capability, in the sense that it takes them down shortly. The pistol though. Oh, but the pistol though is great. Problem is, now I'm seeing it, it's the fact that the accuracy is kind of shit, although that might be a me thing. Alright, so if we're talking about live fire capability right now, these two weapons are kind of sort of okay, all things considered. The pistol is actually outperforming the carbine, in which the problem is the fact that the mod author is using, at the very least in the game's logic, auto fire weapons are not as effective as single fire burst fire weapons. In which that is the issue right now that is prevalent. So I need to rely on like crit damage to make this weapon worthwhile. That being said though, not the worst thing in the world either. Pretty rock solid. Alright. Still though, this pistol is really good, all things considered. If you're going for like a gunslinger approach, not a bad gun to choose. Granted, you probably want to get yourself a Laredo Deadeye or something like that. Or, you know, a Laredo revolver, effectively. In which from there, it'll actually be probably more ideal for you. But still, for pistols or, you know, fallback weapons, this thing is not bad. 45 ACP and all that jazz. Let me try hip fire capability. Got Starborn coming up right now. At least I hope it's Starborn. If there's something else out there that's like shooting out crazy shit, well, we're in trouble now, boys. Oh, that's adorable. Time and space fold! Force field! Try and bypass. Where'd you get the sword from? eBay. Just proceed to disintegrate back into the universe. Alright, yay! Alright though. Alright though. Not a bad gun though, this thing. A bit rich for a sidearm, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe knock $1 off, maybe knock 100 credits off or so. But still, if you're going for sidearms, it's not bad customization, it looks good and all that. It looks good and the like. It fits, it actually really fits in the world a lot better compared to like a lot of other weapon creations that are available. So I'm hoping that maybe in the future Heroic Pie will add like more features to this thing, like I don't know, burst fire capability, the ability to carry more, the ability to have at the very least, you know, both like high capacity munitions with the armor piercing capability. That'd be great. But yeah, overall, not a bad. Overall, not bad, not bad, not bad. Who needs to shoot with irons when you can just shoot from the hip? Cowboy that shit. That's the whole point of video games. Doom did it in the first place. Why the hell do I need to aim down sights anymore? All I gotta do is hold on to the gun tightly. Alright, though. Alright, I'm gonna wrap things up now. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this stream. You want to see more? I'll probably be doing this tomorrow. Probably being the key word here. This was great, though. I'll be doing Bad to Bad Apocalypse, so we'll be doing that. And hopefully I'll try and do Yakuza. I'm hoping to... Let me see. How far along am I in Bad to Bad Apocalypse? Because I know I'm, like, really early on. Bad to Bad Apocalypse. God damn it, I want to see how long the story is. What's the completion time? $12 hours. Jesus Christ, no wonder it took me so long. Alright, well, I'm gonna try and at the very least get the main quest squared away. Or at the very least progress in the main quest as much as I can. But I'll probably still need to do some, like, serious grinding. At the very least for, like, levels and such and gear. So there'll be that. So expect at least maybe 1-2 hours worth of... Give me a sec, what's this? Alright. So yeah, maybe expect like 1-2 hours of me just like grinding out and doing some stuff and such. And yeah. Let's see here. Alright. Sorry, I'm looking at Stalker just added a new well, not added, but they did at the very least. Yeah, they did do some new patches and the like. So that's great. Alright. Alrighty, yeah. Let's see if I can update. Alright. So, yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll see you next one, that being potentially tomorrow. Till then, take care.